Nobody has any seniors because the industry collectively decided that they weren't going to hire junior engineers. And that's where senior engineers come from.
Okay, let's look at a very difficult video topic today about junior developers. This is a topic that always comes up and people are saying there are no junior jobs. How should we get a job? The description has the link to the video. So head over there, leave a like, and then let's start.
It's really tough out there if you're a junior developer looking for a job. Every job opening instantly gets hundreds or thousands of applications. If you go on Blind or Reddit, it seems like everybody,
And that is true. Like when you look at it at LinkedIn,
that gets a job already has a job or graduated first in their class from a top-tier computer science university. And that ain't you. In this video, I'll give you my take on the current job market for junior and entry-level developers and what I would do if I were in your situation. Okay. I've survived 3 collapses of the software developer industry, the dot-com boom, the Great Recession, and whatever it is that we're going through right now. And I think the answers are easier than you think they are, even if it is painful. Okay. I'm completely self-taught, and I became a software developer at Amazon at the height of the Great Recession, so I know it's possible. The big question is whether the downturn and low availability of jobs for junior developers today
Great Recession, I think he's meaning 2008 when all the banks had the big problems, right?
Presents a permanent shift in the industry. With all of the layoffs, is the end of software as a lucrative career done for? Should you just abandon everything and get a job in the trades? Should you just go be a plumber because AI can't unclog a toilet yet? The simple
plumbers of data science, right? We're already the plumbers, so.
simple answer is no. It's an absurd idea, and you'll agree with me when I share my reasoning. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Steve Huynh, Uncle Steve or Steve, and I'm a former principal software engineer at Amazon, where I spent 18 years. I just quit my job to make content full-time. My new mission is to up-level 1 million people in their tech careers. Thank you for helping me on this quest. If you want more from me, sign up to my free weekly newsletter or join my free community of several thousand tech professionals up-leveling themselves and encouraging each other on my Discord. Details in the description. So let's start with AI. Yes, the demos are all amazing. LLMs can code faster than you can. They can now produce functional code snippets, debug existing programs, and even design simple applications.
Yeah, that's what people are telling us. True, true.
A couple of years ago, this technology couldn't do squat. And that's the thing with exponential growth. It doesn't take that much time for the numbers to get really, really big. If the growth in capabilities continues to stay exponential, it's not just tech jobs that are going to be replaced. Everybody will be out of a job.
Yeah,
while
a lot of
AI's
people
capabilities are still growing, signs of a slowdown are already here. It's like when your buddy meets a new girl and she's absolutely perfect. She's not, it just takes a bit of time before you understand that she isn't. New studies indicate that LLMs can't independently learn or gain new skills. That's a problem if you're trying to replace developers.
Can not independently learn or gain new skills. What that exactly means, that would be
Train an LLM only on poems. It can't write a good novel. They frankly can't write a good novel now, even though they're trained on novels. LLMs are great for parroting things that they've been trained on, but without the ability to learn about adjacent skills, LLMs will just be a really fancy autocomplete. But Steve.
Yeah, they can create stuff, but only to a certain point, right? So we were using ChatGPT recently to create small stories for the kids to read. We give it a theme and say do something funny, funny story for a 8-year-old, and then it's going to create you the story. So that depth, I think it works really well. But really for coding and so on, for tech work, difficult.
You might say, what if we invented the ability for LLMs to learn? Well, sure, but my wife would be a car if she had 4 wheels. The thing about breakthroughs is you can't predict when they'll come, if ever. LLMs were an amazing breakthrough for sure, but now that we're understanding their limits, you can't just predict another fundamental breakthrough is coming soon. It doesn't work like that. The second bit that doesn't scare me about AI and that nobody is talking about is that nobody is making any money from it. Well, maybe.
Well, a few companies are making money from it. The thing is, most of the time, we are still in that hype phase. When you think about the hype cycle, we're still in the hype phase where everybody's using Gen AI and they're using pre-trained algorithms and think they are going to go to the moon and their products are going to be great. So there's a depression coming where people are going to depress how good it is. But how does this what does this have to do with junior developers? I would like to. This is going to be going a bit slow for me.
Maybe Nvidia is, but they're selling shovels during the gold rush. Everybody else is spending a ton of money on AI.
That's true.
Nobody's struck gold yet. Show me a company that has actually replaced devs with AI. I'll wait. Everybody assumes that it'll happen, but just look at where the money is and how it flows. Big picture, when it comes to AI, I'm on team Jan LeCun, the chief AI scientist at Meta. In the future, we'll all have AI assistants that do all of the work that we don't want to do, and they'll amplify our existing abilities.
Hopefully this is going to be the case. And not like that we have to do some of these things we want to actually have, want to get rid of, right? There's the meme, I don't remember the meme exactly, but like, I think most likely if you're on Twitter, you have seen it. Yeah, but with the software developers, yes, it's like right now, it's not going to replace software developers in any case. They're going to help us, and that's something I foresee, that they're going to help us be more productive. That is one of the big things also for companies, right? We need to bring productivity up, and that's where this helps. But completely replacing people,
These AI assistants will talk with the assistants of other people. When they do some work for us, we'll check it to make sure that that work matches our intentions. That would be a really big upgrade to our quality of life, but it's not going to result in artificial intelligence taking over the world and making humans obsolete. That's just absurd to me. Like, look at the CrowdStrike outage where code was pushed out and brought down large portions of our corporate software systems. You mean to tell me
that was good? Oh man, that was a big fail. Holy smokes.
that we're going to replace devs that have the power to make mistakes with a huge blast radius with an AI that hallucinates and can't reason? Please. But Steve, you might say, look at all the layoffs. Many thousands of developers have been laid off in this recent downside.
That's a different reason.
Companies are laying people off because they overhired during the pandemic.
Exactly, that's the reason. It's not because of AI. These are two things that are happening in parallel, but it's not, one of them is not the cause for the other one, right? So people have just overhired, and we're thinking that it's going to continue in this upwards trajectory like crazy, but which it hasn't.
We're still above pre-pandemic staffing for software developers. And I don't like that attitude. Here's a secret. Companies all copy each other. Sometimes this imitation leads to a really hot market. As we were getting out of the pandemic, everybody was hiring. These create cycles that feed on themselves. During the hiring boom, companies were throwing big money at people to get them to come to their companies. This left an open seat that needed to be filled at the company they left. Since a company with hiring needs is also competing with others with hiring needs, this created a crazy boom cycle. Anybody with a pulse was hired. What we're seeing now with the layoff cycle is companies copying each other again. Companies are trying to trim teams down as much as possible.
Because they're expecting a downturn, or they are already on a downturn. Like in Germany, it's crazy. It's going like yesterday we were at the cliff, now we're one step ahead, right?
A lot of companies will trim too much, but the consequences of over-firing take months to years to catch up. So suppose you're a company with 100 developers and you get a mandate to eliminate 20% of them this year and 20% next year, and also to freeze promotions. So you'll be down to a nice round number of 64 people after this 2-year down cycle. The work didn't go away. You still have a roadmap. You still have to keep the lights on and support existing products. Morale is going to go down the tubes. Burnout is going to...
Well, this is always a thing. Like, are you going to stop on certain ventures within the company, certain things that you just say, okay, forget about this. We're going to concentrate on the core core product, on the core topics, and then leave out the other stuff, then it's not really that difficult. But generally, of course, if you are letting go of a lot of people, it's going to concentrate work more on the ones that are still here, of course.
Increase. The senior people are going to leave the team because they have options. I'll tell you right now that AI isn't going to solve this problem. No. There's another big problem here, which is the impending demographics bomb. When the company finally realizes that they cut too much, they're going to want more senior people first to plug the holes. But they don't have any seniors because they haven't been promoting internally.
Yep.
Nobody has any seniors because the industry collectively decided that they weren't going to hire junior engineers. And that's where senior engineers come from, today's junior and entry-level engineers.
It's the same thing, like people always say, right? How can I become a senior engineer if I cannot start as a junior, right? You need to first be a junior, and then you need to become a professional, and you work your way up. But if you cannot get into it, how can you then develop yourself? It's the hen and the egg thing, right? And that is one of the big problems. When you look at the job market right now, people are looking for productivity, right? There needs to be a lot of productivity with only a few people. That's why they don't hire juniors. And this is actually a really great point.
I'd like to take a quick moment to thank today's video sponsor, Springboard. I get a lot of boot camps that want to sponsor the channel, and I've said no to all of them until I learned about Springboard. Springboard is a software boot camp that combines online learning with dedicated one-on-one support from actual humans. It gives you the flexibility to learn at your own pace because really nobody has the bandwidth to do a short, intensive, and immersive program if you've already got a full-time job. What attracted me to Springboard wasn't the over 18,000 students that have graduated or enrolled in the program, the 85% placement rate to a full-time job after graduation, or the over $23,000 more people earn on average after they graduate. It was their job guarantee. Mm-hmm. With Springboard's job guarantee, if you don't land a job within 12 months of graduating from their program, you'll receive a full refund. Now, terms and conditions definitely apply, so please make sure to understand the eligibility criteria before enrolling. But I did some research on this guarantee, and it's not a scam. People are getting their money back if they can't find work. Now, what an amazing offer. Either you get a job making more money in tech, or you up-level yourself for free. It's an amazing win-win situation where incentives are aligned. So if you're in the market for a tech bootcamp, Springboard seems like a no-brainer to me. To get more information and to apply to their various programs, click on the link in the description. And as a special offer for my viewers, I've negotiated a discount of $1,000 off their software engineering bootcamp using the code ALIFEENGINEERED. Thanks again to Springboard for sponsoring today's video. The market is going to come back. I guarantee it, unless you think that technological innovation is done. Now, here's what I believe. It's really difficult to predict change. So it's smarter to think about what isn't going to change, which is human and company behavior. Companies are going to copy each other. They're going to run into collective problems. The collective problem they'll run into in the coming years is a lack of software developers and tech workers to build tomorrow's technology. Yep. In the late 90s, early 2000s, I made websites for medium-sized organizations. This dried up after the dot-com bust. Well, what were people saying back then? That the technology sector was done, that the internet was played out.
Yeah, it's always the same thing.
What a ridiculous thing to say today.
Like, the people are not looking ahead. Right? The people aren't looking ahead. I too weren't looking. I have to admit, I wasn't looking ahead that far to see actually that now that people are only searching for experienced people, they are soon going to run out of actual beginners that then can later be promoted to senior people. Especially when these senior people search for a different job, right? So,
But back then, people really thought that the internet was just another fad. When it comes to software, technology, and the internet, I think we're much closer to Kitty Hawk, where the airplane was invented, than the moon landing. I think technology and the internet are going to evolve in ways that we cannot imagine today. I believe more money will be made on this technology in the future than has ever been made up until this point. And I think that the junior and entry-level engineers of today are going to be the ones that realize that future. So what should you do if you're a junior or entry-level developer? If you have a job, you need to become a senior developer as quickly as possible. This will protect you if you lose your job, as senior jobs are still out there.
But so that means do more education on top of your work that you already do. But otherwise, like a senior, you're going to get through experience. So you need to stay at the job. You need to do the work. Like, what else can you do to become a senior?
Now is not the time to coast if you're employed. If you
True.
don't have a job, then you need to kill the clock. If you were thinking about going to school to get a supplementary degree or do a boot camp and you won't go into too much debt, do it. If you've been thinking about starting a company, I would encourage you to do so. It's never been easier to create a website or mobile application.
The thing is, yes, that's true. But if you're already in an economic downturn, it's also from a standpoint of I'm setting up a company to do, I don't know, online marketing or whatever. It's also going to become difficult, right? So if you have a job, stay at that job. If you don't have a job, try to become better, try to do some education. Basically, also, if you have a job, those are the big things you need to look into and try to use that time.
With the advent of cloud computing, you can get something off the ground really fast and get customers in record time. If you can make your own experience, that's great. And if you still can't find a job as a developer, loosen your constraints a bit and start applying to adjacent roles. Maybe you can get your foot in the door as a support engineer, QA, SDET, TPM, project manager, program manager, sysdev, something.
That is very true, right? The job does not, for me, for instance, I'm teaching data engineers. The job does not necessarily have to be named data engineer. If you don't have a job and you need one and you're having trouble finding junior roles in data engineering, search for other roles. Search for other roles where you can hopefully get a job. Be a bit more flexible so that in 2 years, then you can make that jump. Because those 2 years you're going to use in a job, you're going to use on education, and then you're going to be really well off.
That is related to software development. My first job at Amazon was as a support engineer contractor. I thought the job was beneath me, but it turned out to be the best thing that could have happened to me. I was able to get exposure in the industry while studying to be a developer from the inside. This choice enabled me to transition to software development at the height of the Great Recession, when nobody was hiring anywhere. Software developers are problem solvers that bring technology into existence. AI simply can't learn on its own. The only way the industry won't rebound is if you don't think that new technology will exist in the future. Junior developers are the people that will take us there. If you're looking to break into the industry, keep your sails up. It's just a matter of time when the wind picks up and you can be there to catch it. If you found this video helpful, take a look at my latest video on how I would find a job if I had to start over today. It's packed with a ton of tips on finding a job, and if you're looking right now, I guarantee you aren't doing everything in that video.
Very cool. Nice video. Wow, that was good. That was really good. I think he had a few really good points. Yeah, it's with the Gen AI thing. People are overhyping the Gen AI topic. It's too overhyped. It's not going to replace us. It's not going to replace junior people. It's not going to replace senior people in the foreseeable future. Because, like I said, it can't learn on its own. It needs to be trained. Yeah. So keep your head up if you're searching for a job. Get some education. If you're already in a job, stay there. Don't jump ship. Stay there. Gain more experience. And also do education above that. Try to learn new things so that if you have to search for a job, you're better off. Okay, really cool video. Let's quickly go there. Let's leave a like. As I said, the video is in the description, the link to it. Check it out, leave a comment there, and see you next time.